Hey, and welcome back to my channel, and I have a question for you today. How well are you digesting and assimilating your life right now? In other words, how aware are you of the thoughts and the emotions that are going on in your life right now and how it's making you feel and act and react? Have you ever noticed that your digestion drops when you're feeling really stressed and overwhelmed? Or that you just do eat things and feel horrible afterwards? Not only are your cravings driven by physical biochemical reactions going on, but they're also fed by your thoughts and your emotions. If you've never taken the time to think about it, now's a really good time. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different than what everybody else does. We're going to look at how your thoughts and your emotions affect your digestion. And in particular, some of the big digestive issues that some of you may be having. Heartburn, gas, bloating, those are pretty common because truthfully, 99% of the population has poor digestion. We're going to look at some of the bigger ones like Crohn's and colitis as well, so make sure you stick around. And at the end, I'm going to give you some really unique tools and techniques that you can utilize so that you can start really making some big differences in your digestion and in your thoughts that are feeding that digestion. And remember, if you're tired of chasing your painful, annoying physical symptoms around in circles with the same old therapies, then ring the bell and subscribe and stick around for my new video that comes out every Tuesday where you learn how to take control of the thoughts and the emotions that drive those symptoms. So after my health failed when I was a teenager, and the only thing conventional medicine seemed to be able to do for me was to just keep me jacked up on a whole whack of pain meds to keep my symptoms at bay. Well, when I got tired of living in that comatose world, I made a conscious choice to find a better solution. And the first step I took was changing my dietary lifestyle. Making qualitative changes in what you eat and put into your body can have a significant impact on your overall health and well-being. Trust me, digestion is largely affected by how well you take in the outside world, how well you take in life, not just on a physical level, but on a mental and emotional level as well. Every one of your physical organs responds to your thoughts and your emotions. How well you're digesting and assimilating your life will be reflected in your digestion at a physical level. Because hey, if you can't digest what life is throwing at you, then I bet you're going to develop things like acid reflux or ulcers. So many things can throw off our digestion. Stress, anger, worry, grief, all of these things can make your stomach go off, as I've talked about in other videos, and make it really broil and feel off and not functioning at its optimum. Your thoughts and emotions really do affect your physical body. And especially when it comes to digestion, there are a few culprits that we really need to be aware of. Number one is negative beliefs that we've either taken on consciously or unconsciously. We all take on beliefs through our family and by growing up, and whether we're aware of it or not, we're absorbing what all the people around us believe. And if it feels right and we don't question it, then we continue to believe it as well. And one of the biggest beliefs that I see all the time in practice that really affects people's digestive system is the inability to assimilate what life is bringing to you. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you're digesting food, your body takes in the material world and it digests it and it absorbs it, it assimilates it, it breaks it all down, and then it decides, what do I want to keep, what's good for me, what do I need, and what do I want to eliminate, right? It's no different with your thoughts and your beliefs. When it comes to healing the mind, we have to make sure that we bring in the right information and we're not just feeding it things that are toxic or unhealthy for us. And how do you know if that's happening? Well, you can start to really take a look at what's going on in your life, and when you're in a place in your life where it's not really going your way, or things seem negative, or it's constantly giving you stress or grief or frustration, those areas in your life are areas where what's coming at you, what you're taking in from life on a mental and an emotional level is not really feeding you in the right way. And if it's not, what way is it disrupting you, and what way can you change that from happening again? Because what you can do, and what only you can do, is choose to see life in a different way. So what you want to think about and what you want to believe has to feel right for you. And if it doesn't feel right for you, then whenever it comes at you, you don't feel right. You feel unhappy, you feel frustrated, you feel victimized. When those things are coming at you, it's because you're taking on other people's stuff and you're not really knowing how to stand in your own truth. And the only way to do that is to take responsibility for your thoughts and your emotions and your actions in life. Taking full responsibility and making choices based on what feels right for you is truly the only thing that you can do, and the only way to truly honor your own self. With emotions, being aware of any emotions that are coming at you that is affecting you. So remember that you are the one that chooses how you're going to think and feel and act and react. And if an emotional state comes at you, say somebody comes at you and they're really angry and frustrated with you, and then you get caught up in that same emotional state, that's your choice. However, remember that if you get wound up by that same energy, know that it's because you're harboring that same state within yourself that you've never really worked through. So take some time to make a note of this event. Maybe at the time don't get involved, but at the time recognize what it is. And then later on sit down and reflect on, where's this coming from? What do I need to let go of? Generally, whatever is coming at you and you're reacting to it means that that's yours to own. Only you can own your own emotional reactions. So recognizing what emotional is coming up in you is the first step to really being able to let it go and take more ownership over yourself so that you can not react to that in the future. And remember, thoughts and emotions, if you're hanging on to these thoughts and emotions because of a belief structure that you're not even aware of, but the way to know that is that if you're hanging on to something like a dog with a bone, if you're unwilling to change or to see something differently, then that's a negative belief structure, and maybe you need to dig out that first. Because we tend to fall into the same emotional patterns over and over and over again. You could probably recognize this. If you start to really be aware of it, it's like, I really do keep running into the same issues over and over again. Why? Because we haven't really taken the time to reflect, to assess it within ourselves and decide, what do I want to change in myself so that I don't react to that in the future? What do I need to work on? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to resolve in order to not be affected by that again? One of the biggest states that I often see people get caught up in is taking on responsibilities in life that aren't their own, especially women. And so what we tend to do is, we want to be the perfect all-around spouse, partner, mother, caregiver, whatever, worker. We want to do it all and we want to be really good at it all, but we take on way too much responsibility. And then when that happens, we get overwhelmed, we get angry, we get frustrated, and then we start lashing out because of this. So it's important to recognize that how you're acting and reacting in life is based on what you've chosen to do, and maybe it's time to make a change. Because if you don't, that buildup of mental and emotional baggage is eventually going to create some major physical changes. It's going to start affecting you. And oftentimes the digestion is the first place that gets affected. And when that happens, people get ulcers, they get colitis, they get Crohn's, they get constipation. All of these issues are just gastritis, just pain and rumbling all the time in the belly. And as I said, that all of that disruption eventually leads into other bigger issues. So if you don't fix what's going on up here, It affects what's going on down there, and then it just escalates. So I really want you to be attentive to your thoughts and your emotions this week. So maybe share with me below, what thoughts and emotions do you have that tend to come at you from without first, and then they bubble up within you? What bubbles up in you the most? Share with me in the comments below. And then, of course, eating non-resonant food. And what do I mean by that? Well, eating things that just don't serve you in the right way. Eating bad, crappy food, like I talked about in the last couple of videos. Anything toxic that's not good for you. And in fact, did you know, eating the same foods over and over and over and over again, even if it is good for you, can actually be toxic to your body over time. If you're eating things that make you feel kind of toxic and crappy and miserable and put you on this roller coaster of up and down emotion and mood and thoughts, then maybe you need to ask yourself, why am I choosing to feed myself this way? Is it conscious? Meaning you know you really shouldn't eat these things, but you can't seem to help yourself anyway? If you do that, there's a bigger reason why, and I'm going to get into that in another video, so stick around. Or do you really not realize that what you're eating is not healthy for you? Because this is pretty common. We often eat according to societal standards, the North American diet. Doesn't mean that it's healthy and good for you, or how we've been raised. You know, we have those comfort foods that we just always keep making because, well, mom made them for us, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy for you. So maybe now is a really good time to just take stock and start listening to how what you're eating is making you feel mentally and emotionally, and how your thoughts are affecting how your digestive system is really working. Because one of the biggest things that I see we all need to do across the board is really learning to listen to ourselves. Not what society says, not what Joe Blow over here says, not what that great doctor over there said, or not what your parents are telling you. Learn to really listen to yourself, your own inner instincts, and then be attentive to how well am I taking in what I need to take in. Not just on a physical level, not just eating the foods that we know make us feel better overall, because that's number one, but number two, taking in the knowledge and the thoughts and the emotional states that we really want to have in our life and get rid of all the other stuff. And recognizing that how am I digesting and assimilating what is coming at me today? And do I need to make some changes? So hopefully this video today has helped give you a little bit of insight into how actually really your thoughts and emotions really affect your digestion and vice versa. So remember, comment below, what digestive issues in life are you having right now? What are you having trouble taking in from life on a mental and emotional level? Share with me below and we'll get a great conversation going about it. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you some really interesting insights into some of the biggest digestive problems we have and what the state of mind is behind them. Number one is gastritis or bloating, any general indigestion or pain in the stomach. Is how well do you deal with conflict in life? And or do you create conflict in life where there really shouldn't be any conflict? And can you release this turmoil easily? Or do you tend to stew about it? Number two, ulcers. Do you stress and worry about every little thing that comes into your life? Can you easily digest the incoming impressions into your life? In other words, how well are you processing the emotions that are coming into your life? Number three, diarrhea and Crohn's. How easily do you let go of things in life? Do you have control issues? Are you afraid to let go of things and allow them to unfold in the natural way that they should? 4, ulcerative colitis is a really big one. And if you struggle with this, the state of mind behind it is having trouble standing up for yourself in life. Do you see yourself as someone who's valuable and necessary in this world? And are you willing to take responsibility for yourself and your life? And number 5 is constipation. A lot of people have constipation. And I'll tell you this, I get so many clients that say, no, I don't have constipation. And I'm like, well, do you have a regular bowel movement at least twice a day? If you say no, then you're constipated. And if you're constipated, maybe have a look at this. Do you have trouble letting go of the material things in life, as well as any unresolved emotional conflicts you might have, or secrets? Constipation is maybe hanging on to a lot of secrets in life. Are you doing that? Those are all the states of mind that tend to lead into having these kind of physical issues. And if you have any one of those, really take some time to reflect on them and think about them and start to recognize how that is actually going on in your life. And if it is, maybe there are some changes you can be making that will improve that, not just at a physical level, but at a mental and emotional level as well. Now, I know that, this might be mind-blowing to you, having to look at these states behind these physical issues. And if this is the very first time you've ever done that, make sure you reach out to me. If you have one of those issues and you're struggling with it, of course, I'm going to have a link below to my digestive kit, which will help, absolutely. But if you really want some more qualitative information for you as an individual, then reach out and book a free consultation with me. And we'll go over some information and some ideas that might help you free yourself from that whole conflict. And remember, if you liked this video, please hit the like button below, subscribe, and share this with all your friends and loved ones who are struggling with some of these digestive issues as well, because you might be just the bright light and information that they need today. And leave a comment below on what really was the biggest takeaway from today's video. What digestive troubles do you have that are maybe based on a state of mind or some thoughts and emotions that you're struggling with letting go? Share with me in the links below. And don't forget, check out these other videos on stress and immunity and digestion and all the different problems that are going on so that you can really make some big improvements in not just your physical digestion and your immunity, but the mental and emotional well-being as well. Until next week, remember, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely. Bye!